I'm Chris Smith. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so Deontay Wilder, the former WBC World Heavyweight Champion, and of course the leader of the Bomb Squad Army, has said this about Andy Ruiz Jr. demanding 50-50 to fight him this summer. Andy Ruiz was only a champion for a blink of an eye, a short, fat fighter with small hands that make him look fast. That's it. The only reason this fight will be exciting is because they want to see how fast I would knock him out. Andy's going to be 33 years old, effing broke, can't support his children because his daddy makes decisions for him. They're talking about 50-50. You ain't nowhere compared to me. Stop that. Deontay Wilder's statement. Now, what he's talking about there is that Andy Ruiz Jr.'s father has said that 50-50 or no fight because apparently Wilder allegedly offered 70-30, which is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. 70-30 is absolutely ridiculous. Now, the thing is, with this one now, I have no issues with Wilder being the A-side. I mean, the fight would take place in America, I would presume. And in America, maybe Wilder does have a bigger pulling power. He does. But not by much. Because globally, Andy Ruiz Jr. is obviously the bigger name. Anybody out there who's heard the name Deontay Wilder has heard the name Andy Ruiz Jr. They have. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a guy who has fought for world titles and defended world titles abroad. He fought Joseph Parker in New Zealand for the WBO. He fought Anthony Joshua in the rematch in Saudi Arabia. People know who Andy Ruiz Jr. is. So let's not make out that Wilder is this huge superstar and this big drawing power where Andy Ruiz Jr. brings nothing to the table. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a former unified world heavyweight champion. Something Wilder never did. Unified, not once. Didn't even attempt to. Andy Ruiz Jr., who has the entire country of Mexico behind him, plus a section of American boxing fans. Wilder doesn't even have American boxing fans behind him. 75,000 pay-per-views against Robert Helenius last time out. He ain't no draw. He ain't. The only reason that he's ever done any kind of good sales with pay-per-views was when Tyson Fury was in the corner. That's what it was. Now, Andy Ruiz Jr., of course, he did fight Luis Ortiz, and people I've seen already trying to compare the fact that Wilder did X amount of pay-per-view buys compared to Andy Ruiz Jr., who done X amount of pay-per-view buys versus the same opponent in Luis Ortiz. But of course, what they leave out is the fact that, well, at that time, Deontay Wilder was WBC champion and Luis Ortiz was undefeated. And a fake boogeyman. And I said that going into the fight, it's a fake boogeyman. Whereas Andy Ruiz Jr. took on Luis Ortiz when there was no title on the line. When Luis Ortiz had already lost twice. And Andy Ruiz Jr. lost in the rematch to Anthony Joshua. Wilder didn't sell because he was fighting his sparring partner and because he'd been knocked out in the two previous fights. Something that Andy Ruiz Jr. has never been. Knocked out. Could Wilder say that? No. He's been stopped twice. Quit in the rematch, then knocked out in the third fight. And of course, when Andy Ruiz Jr. lost, he didn't come out with a whole bunch of excuses other than he didn't really train too well for the Anthony Joshua rematch. He was living it up. Deontay Wilder come out with his water was spiked. His trainer was on their team. The referee was drunk and the Nevada State Athletic Commission was in on it. The WBC was in on it and everybody was in on it. His suit was too heavy. He came out with every excuse in the book. He came out with more than 101 commandments. He really did. But the point is, could Wilder be the A-side? Yeah, maybe, but not 70-30. 70-30 is over double. That's ridiculous. 60-40 maybe. 55-45 is probably more near it. So, for me, this is just what Wilder has always done. He'll talk about certain opponents and then go fight somebody else. With the excuse of, well, I tried to fight him. This is why I'm fighting this absolute cabbage next. Now, hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully they get sensible and they get the fight on. Quite why it's taken several months is beyond me. I have no idea about that one. And it's a shame because at this present moment in time, I would probably favour Wilder to beat Ruiz. I'm not saying I want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. I think a lot of it will be dependent on if Andy Ruiz Jr. can get close and who it is that Andy Ruiz Jr. spars to prepare for Wilder. Because I do feel that a lot of Wilder's opponents, they spar the wrong kind of people for Wilder, they do. But, hey, regardless, I would favour Deontay Wilder at this particular moment in time. But Andy Ruiz Jr. has done a lot. He's the first ever Mexican heavyweight world champion. Wilder's not the first at anything other than maybe a world champion who likes to twerk, or a world champion who says he wants to be pregnant. He's the first in those particular situations, but that's about it. It is about it. Now, you could argue that Deontay Wilder, he has a lot to give up, because him risking it against Andy Ruiz Jr. means he's risking the December fight date in Saudi Arabia with Anthony Joshua. So yes, he is offering Andy Ruiz Jr. something that technically he doesn't have to offer him. But in some ways, the WBC ordered this one. So the WBC, as I said before in the previous video, should intervene and come out with their own split as to what the split should be. It should be 50-50, but as I said, I can't argue with Wilder being the A-side in it. I can't. It shouldn't be, but it is what it is. Sometimes you have to give and take. So, anyway, Andy Ruiz Jr. is a short, fat guy with small hands that make it look fast. Okay, we'll fight him then. If he's that easy, why lowballing him? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, catch you next video.